Okay, so today we will learn about Stirling cycle. So Stirling cycle is another gas cycle which consists of two isothermal process and two isochoric process. That is two constant temperature process as well as it has two constant volume process. The application of Stirling cycle is Stirling engine, which was invented by Robert Stirling in way back 1816. So let's look on to the different process that is taking place in a Stirling cycle. Okay. So first process, that is process 1 to 2, that is isothermal compression and heat rejection. Okay, isothermal compression and heat rejection. So the next process is that process 2 to 3, isochoric process, and also the temperature tends to increase in this process. It's a constant volume as well as there is an increase in the temperature for the process 2 to 3. And the third process, that is process 3 to 4, it's an isothermal expansion process as well as it is in this process the heat is added onto the system. So isothermal expansion and heat addition process is the process 3 to 4. And the process 4 to 1 is isochoric process, that is, which means it's a constant volume process and also the temperature is reducing in that process. So process 4 to 1 is an isochoric as well as a temperature reduction process. Moving on to the PV and the TS diagram, I had drawn a PV and the TS diagram here. So process 1 to 2, what's process 1 to 2 is an isothermal compression and heat rejection process. So basically it's a compression process. So we know that in the compression process the pressure increases, right? The pressure increases from 1 to 2 and the volume reduces from 1 to 2, right? So it's an isothermal compression process. Pressure increases and volume reduces. Coming on to the TS diagram, process 1 to 2, it's an isothermal process, so it will be basically a straight line perpendicular to the temperature axis. So it's a perpendicular line to the temperature axis. So process 1 to 2 is an isothermal process. Next process, process 2 to 3, that is isochoric process. Okay. So isochoric means a constant volume process. So constant volume process I have drawn here, that is 2 to 3. It's a constant volume process. It's the volume axis. So this will be the constant volume line. So process 2 to 3 is the constant volume process. Moving on to the TS diagram, the temperature, it is said that in process 2 to 3 the temperature increases. So process 2 to 3 the temperature is increasing here. Okay. Fine. And process 3 to 4, it's isothermal expansion process and basically heat addition process. So in an expansion process, what happens? The pressure will be reducing and the volume will be reducing. So from process 3 to 4, pressure is reducing and volume is increasing. Pressure is reducing and volume is increasing. Okay. And moving on to the TS diagram, it's again an isothermal process, so it will be a straight line perpendicular to the temperature axis. So process 3 to 4 is an isothermal process. This is the temperature axis, so 3 to 4 is an isothermal process. Process 4 to 1, it is isochoric process and the temperature is reducing. So again a constant volume process. 4 to 1 is a constant volume process, right? 4 to 1 is a constant volume process. So I drawn like this, and since the temperature is reducing, I am drawing this line as the temperature is getting reduced. Okay, so in the process 3 to 4, the heat is getting added, that is Q in. I have marked here Q in the process 3 to 4 is a heat addition process. And in the process 4 to 1, I am getting the work output. Okay, you can see here for the process 4 to 1, I am getting the work output. And 1 to 2 process 1 to 2 is the heat rejection process. Okay, so what is Q in? Can I write the expression for Q in as W out plus Q out? Because whatever I am supplying as heat is getting converted into work output as well as the unused energy is getting out as Q out. So Q in is equal to W out plus Q out. So what will be W out from here? It will be Q in minus Q out. So let this be in your mind. Okay, so moving on to the efficiency derivation of the Stirling cycle, we know that the basic definition of efficiency is desired output by heat supplied, right? Desired output by heat supplied. So what is the desired output here? That is the work output divided by heat supplied. What is the heat supplied? That is Q in. Correct? Desired output by heat supplied. So what is this W out? Earlier we have developed an expression W out is Q in minus Q out. So I am rewriting W out as Q in minus Q out by Q in. Okay. Fine. So what is the formula for Q in here? So we have to check in which process the heat is supplied to the system. So the heat is supplied to the system for the process 3 to 4, right? For the process 3 to 4. So which is that process? It is the isothermal process. So what is the heat supplied in an isothermal process? So heat supplied in an isothermal process is mR into T3 into ln V4 by V3. Okay, so this is the heat supplied in an isothermal process. So Q out. So what will be the formula for Q out? So we have to check the process in which the heat rejection is taking place. So which is that process? It is the process 1 to 2, which is again an isothermal process. So what will be the formula for heat rejected, that is Q out? It will be mR into T1 into ln V1 by V2. Correct? Okay. So I have got the expression for Q in and Q out. So what will again divide by Q in? That will be mR into T3 ln V4 by V3. Am I correct? So I have written the expression for Q in and Q out because both the heat rejection and heat addition are taking place in isothermal process. So I have written the expression for the same. Okay. So I can cancel out mR from this expression because this is a common term. So I can write it as T3 into ln V4 by V3 minus T1 into ln V1 by V2 divided by T3 into ln V4 by V3. Okay, fine. Good. But we know that from the PV diagram, V1 is equal to V4 and V2 is equal to V1. Correct? Check the PV diagram. V4 is equal to V1 and V3 is equal to V2 because it's a constant volume process. So what will be the efficiency? Okay. So I can substitute for V1 as well as for V2, right? Sorry, V2 is equal to, it will be V1 is equal to V4 and V3 is equal to V2 is equal to V3. Okay, fine. Okay. So because V1 is equal to V4, it's a constant volume process, and V2 is equal to V3, again a constant volume process. So what will be, how can I change this equation? So efficiency is equal to T3 into ln V4 by V3 minus T1 into ln, I can rewrite V1 as V4, ln V4 divided by V2 as V3, V4 by V3 divided by T3 into ln V4 by V3. Okay, so now how the expression became V4, I can take ln V4 by V3 as a common factor outside, right? I can take ln V4 by V3 as a common factor. So it will become, I can cancel out ln V4 by V3 from all these terms, right? So it will become T3 minus T1 divided by T3. Okay, so that's equal to 1 minus T1 by T3. So this is the expression for the efficiency of a Stirling cycle, 1 minus T1 by T3. So that's all about the Stirling cycle.